Hi, this is Christian Caspers and Renee.
Hello.
We are back with the list building series, and today we wanted to talk about the marketing systems that we use when we're creating our list and capture pages and other things that we talked about. There are a couple of marketing systems out there, and Renee and I are going to show a few that we use. So hang on. All right, so what is a marketing system? It's a good question. So what we talked about earlier was creating a list, being able to capture a prospect's email and sometimes their name or first name, and it goes into the marketing system. That capture page where they capture the user's information or the prospect's information along with their email goes through a marketing system. Once they give us their information, they'll move on over to the sales page where we introduce the business to them or offer whatever it is that we have. That entire system is actually done through a marketing system. So that's what we're going to talk about, some of those features that are in marketing systems, and we have some examples to show you. So one of the things we have in a marketing system is, of course, an autoresponder. Well, what does that mean? We talked about it earlier in one of the videos that we did. Basically, when your prospects sign up, they go on your list of prospects, and then you need to show them your business. So you do that through what we call an autoresponder. And the autoresponder will send out emails to them in a timely fashion, whatever frequency we decide to put in there, daily, every couple of days. You can put as many emails as you want. So we do that with campaigns and broadcasts. So a campaign could be simply a list of emails that you're sending out for an offer. So people sign up for a particular offer, they're going to get a list of emails that relate to that, and we can call that a campaign, okay? In addition to that, we like to send out emails daily or sporadically or on holidays, so we could send that out in a broadcast, which is like a one-time email that you're sending out to your list as a broadcast, okay? So what I would like to do is show you a little bit from both systems, and Renee and I can go back and forth. So Renee, maybe you can start by showing EGN's autoresponder.
Okay. I will get an EGN. This is EGN. EGN itself does not have an autoresponder. And let me share my screen. Actually, I should do that first so that you understand what I'm talking about when I do this. This is the EGN marketing system, but it does not have an autoresponder itself. I actually have it connected to two different autoresponders, but the one I'll show today is Aweber. And in talking about the campaigns and the broadcasts, what I'll show you is my Aweber. You know, that was my account in EGN, but and here I'm actually going to move this up a little bit so you can actually see. This happens to be a particular list that I have. It's my Pure Profit Pro list, and if you want to actually see the list of people that have subscribed, you know, you would go to subscribers, okay? And it, you know, again, I'm not going to show a lot because these are my subscribers, but it just basically gives you a list. And right now in this particular list, I have 1,069 subscribers. But when we were talking about the campaigns and broadcasts, and the way that Aweber does it is the campaigns is called Legacy Follow-Up Series. As you may have also heard follow-up series from other things, or you know, so basically this is the list of, you know, a series of emails that people will get so that they can be exposed to your offer as many times as you want, and you can set them up for how many days you want to do it, how many particular emails you want. You can space them out every other day. You can space them out every day. You know, however you want to set it up is how you actually do it. And the reason why you do it is for the reasons that Christian said is, you know, people need to see your offer more than once, you know, in order to want to join. They need to develop that know, like, and trust factor. You have to show that you can actually help them achieve what they want to achieve, and you do this through your email series. This one happens to have, I believe it's 24. You don't have to have that many. You can have 10, you can have 12, you can have 8. You know, it's really up to you to decide how you want to work this. But you know, my particular series, you know, tells people to call me or text me. You know, that's another way to get them to, you know, like, and trust you. Okay. So I have it integrated through this series. But the other thing that Christian was talking about, I'm going to move us, is having daily broadcasts. And, you know, maybe I'll just show an example of, you know, this is the first follow-up series. I'll click on it just so you get an idea. This pretty much introduces myself, who I am, you know, it leads them to a sales page. Like if they clicked here, they would go to a particular sales page of mine. You know, that one actually is a bridge page that has an intro video from me and a simple presentation. Okay. This one actually, if they were to click on this one, goes to my full system. You know, my instant cash strategy and my marketing, and it goes into a little bit more detail. But you do need to do something where you're introducing yourself, you're reminding them why they actually are getting that email, and, you know, giving them a way to reach out to you. Okay. I like to also include my picture. Some people like that, some don't. It's really up to you. So I have, you know, repeated emails, not the same, but telling the same type of story, giving information about myself, and, you know, telling them I'm out there to help them. Okay. Now the other part of this, I'm going to go back up. I think, no, go back this way, is doing a daily broadcast. So I will show that, an example of that as well. I think I need to go this way. So broadcasts is my daily. You know, I send an email to my list every single day. Okay. So, you know, I just sent mine maybe 30 minutes ago. I'm trying to remember exactly what I did. So far 122 people have opened it and 7 people have clicked. You can see my stats here. But I do every single day. I send out update on my progress. I don't know if it'll show me in here. I might have to open up my Gmail so people can see it, just so you have an idea of what that is. You know, this was the one I sent today. Here, this is better. This one actually opens up. But I just go, this one happens to be a long one. Your emails do not have to be long, but, you know, I kind of shared a video where I talk about an update in progress. I'm doing a challenge of, you know, doing at least 1 video a day, you know, talking about things going on in my business and also sharing tips. This one also is a link to my actual Pure Profit Pro system. Okay. So you could, and again, I include my picture, and in my picture, I have a link. Okay. Either to the presentation or my, you know, day 4 video. Okay. So the reason why you want to do this is you want to continually explain to your people, remind them, you know, why they actually are getting that information, and you're out there to help them. You're showing your progress, you're showing your results, you're showing tips, you know, you're actually proving to them that the system that you have works. Okay. So I'm going to pass this on to you, Christian, so you can give some examples and share some of your tips as well.
All right, that's great. And what I really like about the way we did this is you showed them a Weber which is integrated with your marketing system. Okay.
Yeah.
So I use PowerLead system, which can also integrate with Aweber and one other, I believe, but not too important. But let me just show you my screen here. So what I'm doing is I'm using the system as it is, the way it is in PowerLead system, but I could also integrate if I wanted to in the future. So in PowerLead system, if we go to this section here, emails, and we view edit campaigns, PowerLead system just calls it campaigns. Okay, and in here, we create the different campaigns that we talked about earlier, a set of emails that can be sent out. All right, so when people click on the capture page, they automatically get signed up with one of these lists. Okay, so here's an example. Let's see, scroll down a little bit. This one has one email in it, okay? And you can see it just has the text that's required to send it out. And we could have as many emails as we want, of course. There's another one that has several. And again, they go out on whatever day you specify. All right. As far as broadcasts, I've created my own campaign that I just call broadcast. Give it a name so I can find them quickly. So when I create videos on that, I can create an email such as this one. And I like to take a little screenshot and put the link to whatever it is I'm showing them as part of the image. Okay, so an example of how that might look in an email would be something like this. So you can see this is what prospects would get. You can see it's personalized to whoever you send it to in this case. We talked about that earlier. If you are collecting first name, it would fill in first name, but if you're not, it would say, dear subscriber. Okay. So for example, here, I'm just collecting an email address. If they actually go here, they would have to fill in the email address for that. Okay. So Renee covered the points really, so I don't want to belabor that. But in PowerLead system, that's where the email, that's where the so-called autoresponders are built in, not really integrated to an Aweber autoresponder system, but it does the same thing. So I think that pretty much covers it. And lead capture pages. So I want to talk about next our lead capture pages. We have talked about them before, and in earlier videos. If you go to look at one of my links, okay, first. Okay, first thing they see is a form where they enter their information. This one will collect their name and their email address. So this is a capture page, okay? Again, once they click on the button, this information gets stored in your list in the marketing system. And then, of course, sales pages. So that's what I'll do. I'll click the next button, and I end up in the sales page. Okay. You might put a video here. We discussed this a little bit earlier, but basically the sales page tells them all about your offer, whatever it might be. Okay, and they can go ahead and click on buttons to sign up and all that. Okay. So that's pretty much what those are. Renee, do you want to give an example from EGN, capture pages and sales pages? I know we covered on them before.
Yep, sure. And I'll be very quick, honestly. This is my back office of EGN. Actually, I don't think I'm sharing, am I? Let me share my screen.
There you go.
Okay, this is my back office of my EGN, where I actually create the lead capture pages and sales pages. I'm just going to click on this particular one for right now, and kind of show. This would be a particular lead this is a very simple one, you know, where, you know, again, the person just puts in their name, email, clicks that button to get started. Okay. It's all created here through my EGN back office, and I've connected it to, you know, my AWeber autoresponder. Okay. Sales page, I'll just actually go in here. I'll go to view. I think it's easier. So this particular one is a very simple sales page that has a link to the presentation. And they can just click right on here if they're ready to join. I have other sales pages. Let me go to a different example. Go in here. Whoops, not that one. I have too many tabs open. That's the problem with this. Okay, let me go. I'm going back into my back office here. And my thing is in the way, so I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so here's one. I'll just click on this one. This is just another example of a sales page where, you know, a person can go in, you know, they might have a little bit of a description at the top, you know, and a video here, and they could just click on this button, you know, to see more of that, you know, income stream, and they always get, you know, a little bit of a description and, you know, support from me on here. So, all right, I will stop sharing and hand it back over to you, Christian.
Okay. All right. So basically, again, we are covering the marketing system and what it can do for you. So of course, as we go through these, the sales page, capture pages, there's a lot more information in the other videos we did on those. So you can always go back and look at those. But from a Power Lead systems point of view, over here, the Power Lead system calls these pages web pages. Okay, I have web pages created already. For example, this particular funnel, there is a sales page. So I can take a look at that. All right, that's a sales page. This was created in this system. Also, there's a capture page created in this system. So again, the marketing system allows you to create the pieces that you need to put the whole thing together. Okay, so if we look over here at, I won't go through the whole process, but we could create a web page. As you can see, there are pre-made templates, so you can select them and you can go to the next step. Right? I won't go through every single piece here. We do have videos on this as well, but suffice it to say that these are wizard driven. Basically, you go through the steps and it's not as bad as it looks. But once you go through these pieces, you can literally create your capture page and sales page pretty quickly. What I did to learn this was, because we could do a whole series on just creating these pages, right? So what I did to learn this was I just went through the wizard and started creating these pages just the way they are and playing with them. And then I was able to learn more about it. But yeah. So I won't go too much into that, but
And you know, if you don't mind me, in any system, you know, they have their own way of doing things. You know, the one that I use in EGN basically is based on like a WordPress. But again, don't let that, you know, make you think it's complicated, because it's not. It's really just a point and click. And there's also templates in there. And most marketing systems that you have are going to have instructions on how to do them. So you shouldn't have to, you know, and, you know, templates to go from. So even if you don't know how to make them yourself, there's help for you in setup, because there are templates to kind of help you get started. And again, I don't want to get into the whole logistics of making them, but just understand whatever system that you're going to use, know that there's instructions on how to do them.
Yeah, and those are good points. And the other thing too is and I would mention this at the end of the video, but it probably seems appropriate to mention here is that whatever system your sponsor is using, consider you're using that same system because
Mhm.
your sponsor has picked those tools and they know those tools. So I use Paraleads. Renee uses EGN. So, but if you chose to use another system, you know, the way we do it, it doesn't matter. But it's just a suggestion, though. So, along with the lead capture pages, sales pages, those are created, and you send out your link. We have sometimes we have in a marketing system we have ad tracking built in. Okay, so I'm already here. So let me just pop over here. Basically, Powerlead system has a section called ad tracking. So when I create these URLs, these domains, these subdomains, what's a subdomain? Well, my URL, the domain name that I chose to use was makemoneywithchristian.com. And then you can create like a prefix to that called a subdomain. All right. And I can create as many subdomains as I want. For example, this one's called p3.makemoneywithchristian.com. And then with the ad tracking, I connect this to the ad tracker. Then when people click on it, you can see the hits. So here, this one has 39 hits, for example. Okay. You can see here some subscribers. All right. And that gets into something else we'll talk about. But basically, the ad tracker is meant to help you determine what people are clicking on, uh, so you can concentrate on what works. You know, you don't want to spend a lot of time on things that aren't working for you. So does that make sense, Renee? So did
Yeah,
you?
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Yes,
Oh,
yes, it does.
I
And
was.
the same thing for EGN. They have tracking as well. I'm not going to go into EGN and show you that, but just understand that there's a way you can track your leads in there as well. You could also use outside sources such as like ClickMagick, you know, that can help you track as well. But, you know, most good systems have a way for you to track them.
Right, and those are good points, and that's why we're not belaboring this because there are different systems. Use it if it's in the system that you have. That's what the marketing system is for, to have all the pieces built in. You know, sometimes you go to external tools or you integrate external tools, but I personally like to keep the costs down too. So every tool that you add costs money, right? So that brings up another point: is the contact manager. So obviously you're creating this list, and a lot of systems, they'll just call it a contact manager. All right, so I don't really want to show you everybody on my list, but suffice it to say that just like in Outlook, where you are able to see uh, information for each person on your contact list in Outlook, same thing in the marketing system. You know, so but it is in there, and I'm just sitting here looking at it in Powerlead systems right now. But if you're in Powerlead systems and you need to get there, you know, it's simple enough. Okay. So some systems have a group manager where you can assign uh, people to groups. In Powerlead systems, when you create the subdomain, they click on the link, they're going to end up in this group. And by default, they're going to call it the same thing as your link name. Okay. If you want to create another group and just give it another name, you can. Uh, that's all available. This is actually showing you how many folks have signed up in each different group or marketing campaign that I'm doing. They'll sign up using different links, so they end up in different groups. Again, all part of the contact manager. So you can search that contact manager for different names and all that by different fields. So is that something that you have in EGN, Renee? You're muted.
Let me unmute. Yes, EGN has the same type of capabilities. And again, I don't want to really show contacts or anything like that, but just so that, you know, you could separate them by your own lead. They call them lead groups.
Sure.
So, I mean, you could do the same thing with your system, and, you know, And again, any good system will have a way to track that in so that you can look at your leads and look at what groups they're in. You know, same thing if you're going to use something like Aweber. I mean, I'll share slightly in my Aweber just so you have an idea. So I have different lists because I connect, you know, through Aweber. I have different lists. So just understand, I can go to list options. Whoops, that's not the one I wanted to do. I got to move myself. Manage lists. So like you could see, you know, some of these lists I don't even use anymore, but there's different lists that I have, and you can see, you know, the subscribers. It's similar in my EGN marketing system where I could just put them in different groups, and that's how you know, track who's in that group and that kind of thing. So again, I don't want to belabor it, but just understand that you should have a way to know where your leads are going and, you know, where they came from. So, you know, what list is good, or, you know, a certain capture page. Like you could, not to get too technical, but you can set up lead capture pages for certain things, and you can see which lead capture pages are working better than others, possibly if you do more than one. That would be another reason why you might want to create another lead group or another list, okay?
Yeah. And also, like when you're talking to somebody, they talk to you through email and they're asking you questions about the business. One of the things you can do is pull them up in your contact manager and see how they found your business.
Yeah.
You know, so it kind of helps you a little bit, put it in context when you're talking to people, you know, how they found you and what they're looking at. Because we do have different offers as well, so it depends on what they're looking for. But so that's kind of the concept there. So another thing we have are blogs. Some marketing systems will have built-in blog systems. Okay, so for Paralead system, they do have a brand new blog system. And I was in the middle of creating this the other day, haven't gotten through it yet. But to give you a little preview, if you go to Paralead Systems and go to Promote Your Business Power Blog, and you click on Create Site, select a domain. I already created a subdomain called blog.makemoneywithchristian, so I'm going to pick that. When you create the subdomain, you specify that it's for a blog, and it'll show up in this list. So then down here, you can select any of these templates. So if I click on it, just give you a little snapshot of what it might look like. So this would be the blog that you're creating. All right. And then it creates it. And then I'm gonna do.
Yep.
So again, this is the sample template. And again, once it creates a blog, it's integrated into Paralead system, and you can take it from there. So I thought it was kind of cool just to give you an idea of the new blog system in Paraleads. So again, any marketing system that has that built in, take a look at it. It might just do what you need before going into other tools. So that's okay. So Renee, can you show us a blog in EGN maybe?
Yes, EGN does have a blog platform. Let me share my screen before I forget to do that. Right now I'm here in my back office of EGN where, you know, you do the creating, and it's listed here under posts. That's the blog portion. So I can go to all posts, click on that. And again, you can set up into different categories. Right now, my one category that I have is blog. As I do more, I might, you know, do specific ones, you know, maybe blogs having to do with just EGN or just certain things. But right now, I just like calling it blog. But here's just an example of one of my blogs and how I have it. Again, EGN is also a website creator. So I actually have, you know, this is my actual website. And if someone wanted to go to my blog, they could just click on right here and it takes them to my latest blog post. This one I actually happened to do on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I, talked about that. This would be another blog post. You can set it up any way you want. Like my particular blog platform, also can take that person through my website. Not every website does that. Not every, autoresponder or marketing system has that. So, it really depends on your marketing system. But, this is a nice way to integrate, because as you're doing your emails, you don't necessarily always need to show them a sales page. You can say, oh, I talked about this in one of my blog posts. So you can take them through and do a blog post. So, and again, it really depends on your marketing system, how it's set up, how it works. I like the feature in EGN that you can connect it with your website, your blog, and you can connect your sales pages and lead capture pages all together. And if someone does view my blog, they could also view my website. They could also view my contact info. So it's nice to be able to integrate something like that, and it doesn't need to be complicated or anything like that. It's a very simple way for people to see other sides of you. And again, that's more of that relationship building and, that know, like, and trust. So I'm going to turn it back over to you, Christian.
Excellent. All right, so Renee has an example of websites integrated into marketing systems. So I'll turn that over to you.
Sure. Let me go back and share my screen. So this is actually, coming from my blog platform, but my actual website, I could just actually take this off. This is the actual name of my website. But again, when someone, and it's nice having a marketing system that you can connect them all, as I, kind of explained, a few minutes earlier. But this, in this particular website, I have a questionnaire on here, but the nice thing about it is I'll move us. It does have tabs where it could take the person to learn more about myself, go to my blog, they can contact me, they could see the system I'm using. I can put training in here. They can see my traffic resources. It's really nice to have something like this because, again, it's just more about getting people to know, like, and trust you. If you have a marketing system that does this, it's a plus. Not all marketing systems do, but when you have one that does it, it's nice to have that. But again, whatever system your sponsor or your leaders are using and they're comfortable with showing is the one that you should use. I happen to like EGN just because it has a lot of features. So with that being said, I think it's a nice bonus in a marketing system to have that.
Nice. So all right, so the next thing we have then is training. Since I'm sharing, I'll go ahead and show that real quick. Obviously, we talked about this earlier. So when you're working with a marketing system or any application, it's good to have training for that tool. And PowerLead system does, in fact, have decent training that you can go through. And assuming I can remember my login. There we go. All right, so this is basically the training site, and they're going to have a bunch of videos and stuff on here to go through. So that's pretty cool that they have training. It's pretty in-depth, okay? All right, so did you have, I know you have training in EGN, right, Renee?
Yes, we do, and I can go through it real quick. It's actually quite simple to find in EGN. It's actually in two places, but I happen to be in my back office where I could create my capture pages and blogs and things like that. But right in here it says Training Center, and it's what I like about this is it's actually highlighted, and it's based on different memberships that you have. So your basic thing, you have your basic training here, your VIP training, and your infinite training here. So it's real simple to find. In the main site, I think this is you basically can go here, or I'm sorry, go here for the training center, same thing. So you can actually find it in two places depending on whether you're in like the creating pages mode or you're in the actual web, website, like looking at stats and looking at your referrals and things like that. Depending on what you're doing, you can find training in both places.
So that pretty much wraps it up. Again, from a high level view, a marketing system should contain pretty much all of these things. Makes up a pretty good marketing system where you have your autoresponder, lead capture pages, sales pages. You have to have those to capture your leads. You need to market to them through autoresponders, campaigns, and broadcasts. A nice to have is the ad tracking, although there are other tools that you can use. Also a contact manager, meaning that when you get your leads, you want to be able to look them up, see maybe where they came from and all that. That pretty much should be built into it. A blog is nice to have, and I would consider that an extra because there are other tools out there, but definitely if it's in the marketing system, it's a plus. Websites, again, it's another plus. To have a website built in, integrated into it. It's just one more thing you don't have to pay extra for in most cases. Because there can be a lot to putting up a website. I know I'm a computer programmer by day, so pretty much there's a lot that goes into a website. So by making it easier in a marketing system, it's definitely a plus. And of course, any tools that you use should have training. In addition, some bonuses would be, training on marketing itself. Although we put out these videos and all that, sometimes these other companies will have their own marketing videos that are very helpful. So that pretty much wraps all of that up. Did you see anything else, Renee?
No, I mean, just that, I just want to reiterate what you said. In any marketing system, they should have, as far as the marketing and like the training part, they should have, at least the training on the system itself, but it's nice to have, other marketing training or like social media training and that kind of thing. It's good to have that. And, as we always say, whatever marketing system the person that you're speaking to is using is probably the marketing system you should go with, just because they know that system very well.
Excellent. So that pretty much wraps it up, guys. As a standard reminder, we would like you to make sure you go back to the person that gave you this video, this tutorial that we're doing, and get the links from them if they're showing you their business. Of course, I'll have my link. Renee will have her link. It'll be a button or a link. And again, just get back to the person who showed this to you. So this pretty much wraps up the marketing system piece of our list building series. The next one we'll be working on is writing emails that get clicks or get responses. So basically, just talk a little bit about how you can write good emails. So until then,
see you later.
catch you next video.